Today on the Daily Scoop podcast from the Scoop News Group, OPM's government-wide HR system is in the clear on post-award GAO bid protests. And TMF projects are set to bring $1 billion in cost savings in coming years. It's Monday, July 27th, 2026. Welcome to the Daily Scoop podcast, where you'll hear the latest news and trends facing government leaders. I'm the host of the Daily Scoop podcast, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for joining me. And now let's dive into the day's top headlines. Post-award bid protests filed at the Government Accountability Office will not hold up the Office of Personnel Management's rollout of a government-wide HR system. OPM spokeswoman McLaurin Pinover confirmed to FedScoop via email that all companies that were entitled to and requested a debriefing received one, and that all debriefings were completed well over 10 days ago. Per the rules that govern bid protests before the GAO, that means that the nearly $400 million award the agency made to Oracle in June can no longer be challenged before the watchdog agency's adjudicatory body. The eventual 10-year award to Oracle came after a rocky start for the push to build a government-wide HR platform. OPM initially awarded a sole source contract, one without a competitive bidding process, to Workday in May 2025 to facilitate the Trump administration's HR modernization efforts, only to walk the award back shortly thereafter. OPM eventually launched open competition for a contract to establish a government-wide HR system. That contract faced pre-award protests from IBM and Economic Systems Incorporated, which were withdrawn or resolved, freeing up the agency to make its award. And ultimately, Oracle was announced as the winner. During the award announcement, however, OPM Director Scott Cooper noted that post-award protests were still possible. Confirmation that the GAO window has closed removes at least one avenue for challenge and minimizes the possibility of a challenge in the future. William Resch, chair and professor of public management and policy at Georgia State University, said the absence of post-award challenges doesn't come as a surprise due to the fact that there were already pre-award protests. While the window for GAO protest is closed, challenges before the U.S. Court of Federal Claims are possible for a years-long window. However, Resch said that it's unlikely a court would unwind a government-wide system mid-implementation. Now moving on to other news, most of the Technology Modernization Fund's projects have yet to achieve expected cost savings, according to the Government Accountability Office. But there's big money yet to be saved on the horizon. 24 projects are expected to reach savings of more than $1 billion, a figure that exceeds total TMF investments across its broader 68 project portfolio. Nearly a dozen of those have realized a combined $13.5 million in savings, while another 13 have not achieved savings at all, according to the GAO's audit, which was published last Thursday. The watchdog said in its report, quote, "While savings thus far have been small, the amount is not unexpected, given that 21 projects with expected savings of about $1.04 billion, or 98.3% of the total, anticipate achieving their savings in fiscal year 2027 or later." GAO notes in the report that 6 TMF-funded projects that expected cost savings have been completed, and 2 were on track to meet their cost savings target, while others have missed the mark. For instance, a General Services Administration project went through a major change that descoped planned work and reduced expected savings, according to the report. At least one other project met a similar fate, leading to less savings than initially planned. And higher than expected migration and transition costs led another project's predicted savings to not materialize. 7 other projects were canceled. The release of this report from the GAO comes weeks before TMF's authorization is set to expire. At the end of September, TMF cannot make new investments, and help is unlikely to come soon. The appropriations bill that would give $5 million to the fund has yet to receive a floor vote in either chamber. While cost savings was a top focus of GAO's in the audit, TMF has other goals. Nearly 40 of its projects do not anticipate bringing cost savings at all, instead focusing on improved security or operational efficiencies. GSA told the watchdog that distinguishing between cost savings and cost avoidance in its report understates the full financial benefit generated by TMF investments. The auditors agreed that the cost savings noted in the report would be higher if other factors were added in. For more news at the intersection of the federal government and technology, make sure to visit fedscoop.com. Thanks so much for tuning in to another episode of the Daily Scoop podcast, available on all podcast platforms. If you've already rated the podcast on your platform of choice, thanks so much. High ratings and good reviews of the show help more people to find it. The Daily Scoop podcast is a production of the Scoop News Group in Washington, D.C. Carlin Fisher helped put the show together, and the entire Scoop News Group team contributes. We'll be back again tomorrow with more top headlines. Until then, I'm your host, Billy Mitchell. Thanks so much for listening.